For those of you who watched my live stream, I made a couple of predictions about who's Trump's vice president is going to be, and apparently I got most of them correct. I said that it's not going to be a very famous person that everyone expects, so it's not going to be a Rubio, it's not going to be a Vivek, it's going to be a politician, someone with a level of fame, but not someone that's incredibly in the spotlight. And the second thing that I predicted is that despite the fact that the way to select a vice president is to pick someone that would cater to the voters that you normally wouldn't be able to, which is what Trump did in the first election by choosing Mike Pence. And Mike Pence was catering more to the boomer generation, the type of neoconservatives that wouldn't vote for Trump, but they would vote for someone like Mike Pence, who's well-spoken, who's presidential, who's more with Jesus on his shoulder. While Trump at the time was appealing more to the young generation, to the shitposters, to the average person that liked a politician that's more outspoken, most speaks more from the heart, right? So like this is how people usually select the vice president. It's someone that completes them, right? Not someone that's an identical copy. But I said that I don't think Trump is going to pick a vice president that completes him this time around. He's going to pick someone that is going to be so America first that it's likely he has it tattooed on his cock. And this is due to the fact that if something happens to Trump, if he gets assassinated or let's just say he gets sick, then the other guy is going to be worse for the left. It's going to be even worse than Trump. And apparently this is what he did. He picked someone like J.D. Vance. So let's hear a little bit about who he is, because the internet is filled with these types of posts now.
As somebody who doesn't like Trump, myself, the elites were right about Donald Trump, right? I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
He's the best president of my lifetime, and he revealed the corruption in this country like nobody else.
I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place. I think that he was a good president. I think he made a lot of good decisions for people.
I take it you're not a Trump supporter from what I've read. Am I right? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I didn't vote for Trump.
All around, he was a great president. I'm 37 years old. Certainly the best president of my lifetime.
So this is what the media is going with right now, trying to say that Trump made a bad choice. I don't know whether or not he made a bad choice, but how is it different than Kamala Harris, the current vice president? I mean, she went on a debate with Joe Biden and really hammered in some issues. She went really hard for him on how he dealt with crime and how he imprisoned black people, and she was like really, really hard on him. And after she gets selected as vice president, she goes, it's like, oh, it was a debate. So it's not unusual in politics, especially like during an election season, for one candidate to say something about his opponent, that then it's like, well, it was a debate, ha ha ha. But in this case, I don't think with J.D. Vance it was about a debate. I think he genuinely didn't like Trump in the beginning, and then he did. Because looking at the history, the way he voted, he was probably one of Trump's biggest allies. Like, he constantly voted with Trump. I think, like, he had an honest change of heart. He thought that Trump is a shitposter. He thought that he's not serious about it. But then when Trump actually got into the White House, he started going with Trump and voting in his favor almost constantly. And I think this is why he managed to become his vice president, and also the fact that he's...
By the way, I have to beat up on the UK just one additional thing. I was talking with a friend recently, and we were talking about, you know, one of the big dangers in the world, of course, is nuclear proliferation, though, of course, the Biden administration doesn't care about it. And I was talking about, you know, what is the first truly Islamist country that will get a nuclear weapon? And we were like, maybe it's Iran, you know, maybe Pakistan already kind of counts. And then we sort of finally decided maybe it's actually the UK, since Labour just took over. But to my Tory friends, I have to say, you guys have got to get a handle on this, but neither here nor there.
So, going on his Wikipedia, we see an amazing endorsement from the left. Neo-reactionary. Like, this is the guy you want on your side. If you're a right-winger, whenever the left says that it's a neo-reactionary, that is the spice melange. You want him in your party. National conservative, right-wing populist, right? Popular with the people. Not with BlackRock, the people. So, we're getting a lot of endorsements from Wikipedia here. Now, early life, incredibly important. Early life, right? Scottish-Irish descent. Looks good enough to me. Now, all jokes aside, we need to look at the type of policies that he supports. Abortion. Very important topic in America. You can't talk about America without abortion. Like, you notice that in Europe, we don't really talk about it, but America, oh, the babies. Doesn't like it if it's more than 14 weeks. Federal ban, 15 weeks. Look how graceful he is. Look, all I'm saying is like, well, how would women know they got pregnant? Like, okay. During the pandemic, we had to test ourselves every 48 hours. If you can put some shit up your nose every 48 hours, surely you can take a piss. Surely. But all jokes aside, when you look at the policies in Europe, you would notice that this is more in line with the rest of the world. Like 15 weeks is actually considered progressive compared to other parts in the world where it's completely bad, like the Middle East. But he did decide that he's not for this when it comes to the federal. Like initially he wanted a federal ban, but then he changed his mind and he said that it should be up to the state rights, which I'm sure that the Democrats absolutely love this because the Democrats are all about protecting the democracy. They love democracy. When I think about a Democrat, I think that he hugs and he cuddles democracy all day. It is why they live for, right? So, like, allowing the states to democratically vote on this issue is definitely what the Democratic Party is probably all about. He also says that there are exceptions for this, which the mainstream media is going to ignore. In the case of incest, preserving the mother's life, and so on and so forth. Like, these are common sense things. On sexuality and gender, he believes that the marriage is between one man and a woman. Absolutely horrible. He doesn't think that gay marriage issue is alive. He's not one of those guys that's looking to try to take people's families and rip them apart. But this is atrocious. Like, this is devastating for the medical industrial complex. Like, he wants to take away the money from Big Pharma. Gender affirming care for minors. A lot of activist groups are upset right now. Big Pharma, massive damage. I mean, millions in damages, right? Millions. Like, already, look at this. The abortion, the gender affirming care for minors. How will Big Pharma recover? Immigration and border security. He wants a border. Neo-reactionary, see? Horrible. Foreign policy. He doesn't really fancy sending aid to Ukraine. Apparently, he says that the United States should shift focus to East Asia and that certain European NATO member countries are not spending enough for their own. So, where is the Ukraine? Here we go. Vocal critic of the U.S. military aid to Ukraine, but, and this is very important, you guys will love it, he does support the funding of Israel. Crucial moment, funding of Israel, big yes, funding of Ukraine, not so much. These are his policies. Views on child-free marriage, divorce, and domestic abuse. He says that domestic violence has skyrocketed in recent years due to what he called modern society's war on families. Although in recent years rates of domestic violence has decreased, this is probably the first time when Vance is saying this, because usually they're big on feminismus. They like feminismus, so they're like, oh, look at the percentages. We need more. We need AI to listen in on people's homes. We need more education, more money to the universities, more. But now that they're talking with the right-winger, they're actually, well, you know, the situation isn't that bad. Vance says that it's misleading, right? And he does not support people staying in abusive relationships. Climate change. He doesn't think that the world is burning. He's disagreeing with Greta Thunberg. He proposed a bill that would repeal certain tax credits created by the Inflation Reduction Act for electric vehicles and would create a 7,500 tax credit for gas-powered car manufacturers in the United States. Right, so, he wouldn't be my pick. If I was like Trump's advisor, I wouldn't suggest this guy because he seems to be a mini Trump. Again, the purpose is to get the votes from the people that would normally wouldn't vote for you. Like you want the people that would vote for Nikki Haley to vote for you, if that makes any sense, right? Because there's a lot of right-wingers that do not like Trump and they're not part of the MAGA movement. So what you want with the vice president is to get those. Now, I also understand the situation that Trump is in where he's like, okay, well, I need to make sure that if they get rid of me, not necessarily through assassination, but like impeachment or anything else, right? If they get rid of him as president, then the other guy is just as bad, if not worse, for the establishment. So he's going to pick someone like this. What I would have done is that I would have picked someone that's a neocon and would have gone with him close to the election date. And before the election date, that person would have to drop out due to health reasons or whatever, and then you do the switch. And that is the way that you manage to get the best of both worlds, sorry. You manage to get the best of both worlds, because you would get like all the voters that wouldn't vote for you getting interested, getting hyped. Obviously, you would manage to maintain all of them, because once the person drops off, you would lose a couple of them. But it would send the message, hey, I'm willing to work with these people. I'm willing to, so then you get the J.D. Vance, and all the others are like, oh, well, he's still our guy, right? Trump is our guy. Look, he likes J.D. Vance, right? He's willing to stay true to his nature. If he gets ousted as president, then this guy takes over. So, yeah, but it is what it is. Like, this is the current man, much to the horror and dismay of a lot of leftists, which also will lead to a lot of leftists that probably wouldn't have to go and vote for this guy. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to constantly hear the mainstream media go around about what a bad person J.D. Vance is and blah, 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 blah. He's definitely not politically correct from what I've seen, so they'll probably have a lot of footage on him. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. And we'll see what comes out. I'll probably cover about it. I'll probably cover more about it on my live stream, and I'll see you guys there. Take care.